think we are live. Yes, we are live. Hi guys. It is my last session doing lives on Facebook. I'm just going to pull up the Facebook over here so I can see you guys. It's the last one. It's been such a privilege to be able to cook for you guys pretty much throughout January, Monday to Friday, with the exception of the time that I got COVID. I am super excited for this final one, at least for, January. I'll probably end up doing a few more later in the year, maybe February, late February, but I've really enjoyed this whole process, and the interaction that I've been getting from you guys as well has been phenomenal. So thank you so much for all of you guys that have been tuning in from around the world, whether it be South Africa, Canada, India, or we're all Worcestershire, wherever you guys are tuning in from. It's a pleasure. So yeah, this is going to be the final one for January, but hopefully I'll be back at some point in the future doing some more live cooking. And remember, thedoctorskitchen.com, you can find all these recipes, the book 321, remember the formula, 3 portions of fruit and vegetables, 2 servings, all using 1 pan. And yeah, there's tons more content coming your way, particularly if you're a subscriber to the podcast or the newsletter. You'll find loads of interesting bits of information there to help you live healthier, happier lives. That's exactly what I'm doing the stuff here for. So if you are cooking along, do let us know where you're cooking from. Hi Annette, how's it going? I'm going to be warming up this pan, and we're going to be making a pea pesto pasta. Super simple. You need white onion. If you're doing the 5 ingredient version, white onion, peas, pesto, pasta, olive oil, and then the 2 extra pieces are the pine nuts, but I don't have pine nuts, so I'm using pistachios today, and some chili flakes. There are loads of different ways in which you can jazz it up to make it excuse me, your own. So if you want to add leeks to this, if you wanted to add another vegetable, if you wanted to grate some garlic into it, a lot of the flavor base is going to be coming from the green pesto itself, but there are a whole bunch of other ways in which you can add extra veggies to this. Whether you want to throw some spinach in there, anything like that's fine. Behind me, I've got a pan of boiling water, so it's not a 3-2-1 recipe, it's a 3-2-2 recipe, but that's okay. We're allowed to bend the rules a little bit every now and then. And for pasta, I think sometimes it is good to have a separate bowl so you can get rid of that starchy water, use some of the starchy water in the sauce. I'll show you how to do that in a second. So to get started, I'm using a gluten-free pasta, which is made out of quinoa and corn. So this takes a little bit longer than regular pasta. If you've got whole grain pasta, fantastic, but I'm using castelleche, because I need to get rid of it from my cupboard, so this is what's been in the bottom of the cupboard. But whatever you're using, whether it's fusilli or penne or spaghetti, totally fine, it will work. So yeah, I've got someone from the west side of the United States. Hi, how's it going, Karen? Roll call in Norfolk, brilliant. That's great, that's great. Yes, I was sorting little and often, sorry, Errol was asking, sorting a little and often. I tend to taste right at the end of the meal after I've been doing that, but I tend to taste as I go along anyway, but when I'm on camera I kind of forget, so that's probably why, and I don't want to just show you guys me eating. So let's put this in. This takes about 10 minutes or so. I like to undercook the pasta to keep it al dente. It's purely from a culinary perspective, it just keeps a bit of body to the pasta, and there's nothing worse than soggy pasta. My puppy is running around today. She might make an appearance a little bit later, but if there are any noises, it's my puppy. Okay, so let's pop this in. I'm so glad so many people have been getting tips and learning along the way with me, which is brilliant. So yeah, thanks so much, appreciate it. Let's see who else. I've got Pick here from Devon, brilliant. Inga from Virginia, amazing. Gluten-free pasta is a bit hit and miss. Yeah, it does. It does get a bit gloopy. I'm just going to chop the white onion here. It can get a bit gloopy, but the brand that I'm using, no affiliation, Garofalo, really good. Garofalo probably, but yeah, no, really, really good. So with the white onion, or you could use red onion or shallots or banana shallots, whatever you want to use. With the red onion, the white onion, I've just chopped it down the center into these 2 bits, and I'm going to run the paring knife along the ridges using the same claw technique that I always teach you guys, which is along the knuckles, not with the fingers outstretched, always with the claw. So you're keeping your fingertips well away from the blade, and you will get quicker as you go along. But if you're starting off and you're not that confident, just go slower than what I'm doing right here, okay? And I definitely need to sharpen my knives. But I can't sharpen these knives without using a whetstone. I don't have a whetstone, and I want to take it to my knife store. So that's the top tip, I think, for people. Always invest in good knives, because actually blunt knives cause more accidents than sharp knives. And it's because if it's blunt and then the blade can slip off the ingredient that you're chopping. So always invest in good quality knives. Oh, Erica from South Africa, hello. Cheryl from Cornwall. I love this roll call at the start. Jamie from Wittering. It's amazing. You guys have been turning up every night. It's fantastic. Thank you so much. It really does mean so much to know that there are people who are actually benefiting and learning along. That's kind of why, you know, I'm doing these cook-alongs. So it's great to have that connection with you guys. Oh, I don't know where I put my salt. Oh, here it is. My salt's back here. Salt and pepper. So with the onions, we're going to caramelize these for at least 8 minutes or so. I want to get as much colour as possible, and remember, you cook with your ears just as much as you do with your eyes and your other senses, your smell. So when I put the onions in, you want to hear that little sizzle, not too much, not so it splutters, a little sizzle. And I'm using good quality extra virgin olive oil. I know a lot of people have found things on the internet, so you never cook with olive oil, it's so bad for you, it turns it inflammatory. When you're using a good quality extra virgin olive oil that's been cold pressed, A, it's going to be in good condition to start off with. B, the smoking point is around 170, 180. And when you're cooking at low to medium heat temperatures, like I am today, nice and slow and relaxed, nothing too fierce, it is completely fine, and something I would encourage, and something that's been a staple of the Mediterranean diet for millennia. So yeah, these are what your onions should be looking like in your pan. Just leave them alone. Tiny bit of salt, maybe a tiny bit more olive oil. I've got quite a wide pan. Tiny bit of salt at this point. Get them going. A little bit of pepper, and then just relax. You can relax with me, ask me questions, whatever you want, but yeah, just relax. Cool. Let me see if I can get to any question. Oh, Amanda, I know I'm going to miss the cook-alongs as well. Chrissy from Worcestershire, awesome, thank you. Tara again from South London. Fred, Northern Ontario, amazing. North Wales, Susie, hey. From Bedfordshire, Lisa, brilliant. Oh yeah, no problem, Diane. I'll try and continue to help with content and tips and all that kind of stuff. But yeah. You were imagining a white bean stew or soup recipe of mine. You bought the beans, but you can't find the recipe. Claire, there's tons of stews and soups on the website, thedoctorskitchen.com. There's also a whole bunch in the book if you've got the book as well. So definitely look out for those, and there's so many varieties. And if you don't find anything, just send us a message on Instagram or something. I'll try and give you a voice note. Inga, yeah, I'm going to miss these cook-alongs as well. Louise, you made this on Monday and it was absolutely fabulous. Oh, brilliant. Fantastic, yeah. Loads of peas in this, 200 grams. I'm just trying to get rid of things from my freezer because I'm moving at the moment. So there's going to be a different studio that I'll be doing live cook-alongs from, hopefully in February, but we'll see. Depends on my clinical schedule, because the reason why I've been able to do these lives is because I've been finishing other work stuff before 6 p.m, but I'm going to be doing quite a few late shifts, so probably won't be able to do 6 p.m. And 6 p.m. is a nice time, because if you're not cooking along and you cook a little bit later, you can cook at 7, so you've already got the video there. but I like to try and eat early as well myself. So Kit from Canada, brilliant. Do I have a recipe for homemade pesto? Yes, I do. In book 1 there is a homemade pesto, and on the website, if you check out pesto on thedoctorskitchen.com, there's a pesto recipe there. But it's simply blending olive oil, garlic, basil, or whatever leafy herb you want, pine nuts, and parmesan if you do eat animal products or not, but you don't need to put parmesan in. Blend it up, tiny bit of salt and pepper to taste. There's your pesto right there. If you want to go even a step further, add some kale, the leaves of kale, make sure they're like massaged in your hand, and blend those together, or pound it in a pestle and mortar. Or you could even use rocket, watercress, so many different ways in which you can use and make a pesto. So yeah, go experiment. Lorraine, you'll miss me next week. We love cook. Oh, from Scotland, brilliant, so good. Rosie, you're gonna be lost at 6 p.m. now. I know. There's still gonna be like recipes, and actually, if you are in the UK and obviously you're a TV license payer, you'll be able to get all the recipes from the Doctor's Kitchen, Thrifty Cooking in the Doctor's Kitchen. So there's 18 recipes there, all on a budget, averages around 90p a portion. And it's brilliant, it's absolutely fantastic. Just going to check my pasta. Pasta's looking good. I'm going to use a little spoon. I've got a little spoon here. Just give it a mix. And to the water, I tend to slap in a little bit of olive oil so the pasta doesn't stick to each other. So that's a nice little tip. That's my puppy in the background. Don't worry about her. Cool. Oh, Margaret, your husband and you love them recipes, no problem. Davina from Birmingham. Oh, brilliant. Thanks, Davina. You made this and you put chopped, Vicky says you put chopped preserved lemon in it too. Amazing. I love chopped lemon, preserved lemon. It's like, it's almost got like a lemonade perfume to it. It's beautiful, really popular in Middle Eastern cuisine. So yeah, no, really, really good. When you're out of pesto, use whole grain mustard, frozen peas, and frozen spinach. Fantastic. I love those tips. That's great. No worries. Oh, Sonal, no problem at all. I love hosting them as well. Oh, Sandra made the winter warming salad. Surprisingly very filling. Yeah, I know, right? A lot of my food is pretty filling, and it's actually a chapter in the book 321 where my sort of mission is to get people eating more. So I think we're in a sort of culture where we're constantly being told that we eat too much, but actually my sort of perspective is we don't eat enough of the right stuff, which are the fruit, vegetables, nuts and seeds, which is exactly where sort of the concept of 321 came. And if you ever cook just like plain onions, it's honestly one of those smells that brings everyone to the kitchen. Just so simple, just to have some plain white onions that you're just slowly caramelizing. You know, whether you're making it with as a sofrito and a risotto, whatever, it's brilliant. So, oh, brilliant, Fred, you got the book, amazing. Beetroot. Oh, Zainab says one of your go-to pestos is beetroot and walnut pesto. Amazing. That sounds beautiful. And you know the beetroot. If you can either buy the beetroot that's ready cooked in a vacuum, or you can simply roast the beetroot yourself, or it takes about an hour or less if you cover it in foil. And then allow it to cool and mash it together. Fantastic. Add basil, add some extra virgin olive oil, some garlic. Beautiful. Cool. Let's see. Where can you find sambal from, or what is an alternative? So, garlic, chili, fish sauce. Pound that together with some galangal. That could make a very basic sambal, but if you wanted to be even more authentic, then macroot leaves, kale lime leaves, and lemongrass. That would also bring some of those elements to it, and cumin as well. So bash that all together. I don't have a sambal recipe. I don't believe that's on the website, but there is one in my second book. So yeah. Oh, Jana from Brussels, brilliant. I'm so glad you're enjoying the cook-alongs. It's brilliant, amazing. Let's see. Goha, your daughter Alina has become vegetarian about a year ago and is delighted that we're cooking more plant-based meals. Amazing. No, less cheese toasties for dinner. Oh, that's great. Well, Alina, you've done very well. I do love a cheese toasty every now and then, I have to say, but I tend to have that with a load of veggies. But yeah, nothing wrong with the cheese toasty every now and then, but when it becomes too much of a habit. Alright, this pasta is taking a little bit longer, so we can go in with our pesto. So the good thing about using a pre-made product like this is that it saves you a lot of time. If you wanted to make the pesto from scratch, then like I said, you can use things like walnuts, sunflower seeds, or pine nuts if you want to be a bit more traditional, with a ton of basil, extra virgin olive oil, clove of garlic, salt, pepper, bash it together, and that's your pesto, classic pesto. But you could add any sort of leafy green. So it's a good way of actually making use of any leftover greens that have kind of become a bit wilted, a little bit, you know, a little bit sorry for itself. So that's a great way of using pesto. But you know, it is good to have a time-saving piece as well in your kitchen, so you can make a pasta like this. This is kind of like my go-to pasta after work because I love a very quick pasta dish. It's sort of like what I crave after work. So it's definitely my recipe, my sort of go-to recipe when, you know, when I'm too tired and I can't really think of a recipe to put together. I tend to just rely on this recipe here. So yeah, one to keep. Alright, so pesto goes in. The reason why I put the pesto in now is because I want to cook it out a bit, because it can have a bit of sting to it. The garlic can be a little bit raw and whatever, so, and it also gives me a chance to mix it in with these beautiful white onions here. Tiny bit more pepper, I believe. And then we can throw in our pasta, bring all that together, coat the pasta with the pesto over it. And then we're going to throw the peas in. The peas are not going to take any time whatsoever. Oh, I forgot to put the pistachios in as well. I'm actually kind of glad I'm using the pistachios rather than the pine nuts, just to give you the idea that you don't need to stick to recipe instructions per se. You can just use whatever's in your cupboard. I'm going to just gently chop these. Just roughly chop them. Not gently. And I'm going to put in 3/4, oh, you can't see that, 3/4 in now, and then I'm going to add just a little bit right at the end, just to garnish. Ooh. All right, pasta time. Beautiful. Now I'm going to get rid of most of the pasta water, but not all of it, because you want to save a tiny bit of pasta water here, just a tiny bit of pasta water, because that's going to add a little bit of sauce to everything else that we've got here. So you want to save your pasta water, and this casarecce is a good sort of vehicle for collecting all those beautiful fat flavours from the pesto. Give this a mix around. And just to give you an impression of what that sauce looks like, it's going to go this beautiful, vibrant green colour. And my casarecce is made out of quinoa and corn, but you know, you can use whole grain pasta, that's completely fine. A very good tip is like the bean pastas, so the ones that are made out of pure lentils, pure black beans, they're really, really good. So definitely watch out for those in the supermarkets too. Oh, Gwendoline from France, she said your daughter's the last cookroom, she can go to bed. She can go to bed later than normal thanks to me. Oh, I'm so sorry. I mean, at some point we'll start them again, but appreciate that. And nutmeg says hi as well. Oh, Amanda, you're addicted to the spicy nut sauce with roasted veg. Love that, it's brilliant. I got the sambal red lentil in the 3-2-1 book where I used a store-bought sambal, so check that out. Tracy, you're making the prawn bouillabaisse. If you're looking for the prawn bouillabaisse, that's on YouTube as well as Facebook too. Great, amazing, awesome. And if you want to share these with your friends and family, please do. Just click the share button on Facebook, tell them to watch it now. Give them a shout out or try and say hi. Okay, the peas, these are just regular frozen peas, about 200 grams. They've thawed out a little bit. But when you put them into cooking, you only need to cook them literally just to warm them through. So they're not like fresh peas. They're like flash cooked and then frozen at the sauce. And it's It's so simple to use, and I really do love using them as well. Just going to turn up the heat just to evaporate any excess water. There's not too much there. I'm going to use the 6th and the 7th ingredients with a tiny touch of chili and a little bit more pistachio, but that is it. This is the final cook for the Doctor's Kitchen 6 PM cook-alongs throughout the month of January. There we go. Beautiful. I mean, this just reminds me of like that feeling when you come back from work and you're finished and now you get to enjoy a lovely meal. Like that's it for me. This is the Pea Pesto Pasta with pistachios. That is a bit of a tongue twister. The Pea Pesto Pasta with pistachios. A little bit of extra pistachio on the top, and there you have it. That is it right there. Another tip, if you do eat fish or you're trying to get more oily fish into your diet, is and you want to add another ingredient, is when you're cooking the onions, put in a couple of fillets of anchovies, just a very small fillets of anchovies. It will blend into those white onions. You will barely taste it. It will just give this hint of umami in the base of the recipe, and it will kind of permeate through the pasta. So it's a nice little technique if you're looking to get more oily fish, particularly to kids as well. But yeah. Oh, Value's asking, it'd be helpful if you could say which effects the different food have on different parts of the body. So throughout the lives, we'll be talking about the perspective of healthy eating through a number of different parts of the body or conditions, and it's really, you want to be thinking about food as a mechanism to prevent a plethora of different conditions rather than one thing. So, you know, if I was to say, oh, pistachios are great for the fatty acids, and those fatty acids are actually cardioprotective, yes, you could say it through that lens, but you could also talk about the food and the fat content, the fiber content through the perspective of improving gut health, which has a number of different benefits on mental health, on brain health, and on cardioprotective health as well. So the way I like to think and think through food and talk about food is, when you eat this way, you're not just doing it for one thing, you're doing it for a whole bunch of things. And actually that was the final chapter in my second book, Eat to Beat Illness. When you eat lots of fiber, mostly plants, tons of color, variety, and fiber, you're looking after your internal ecosystem, your body as a whole, which can protect against a number of different conditions and improve a number of different things as well. So yeah, that's the way I like to talk about it. But you know, try this. I'm sure you know you'll find it super easy to do, and it's just one of those backup recipes that hopefully you guys love as well. Brilliant. Well, guys, this is it's been amazing throughout January. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been, like I said, it's been humbling, it's been a pleasure to be able to cook for you guys. It's been so lovely to see so many of you guys as well tune in from around the world. Really incredible experience. I will try and do these again, I promise, but right now I need to give myself a bit of a rest and think of some new recipes to share with you guys. Do join the newsletter, thedoctorskitchen.com. You'll find out all the new recipes in advance of me cooking them, and you'll find out about the app that I am bringing out, which is going to be allowing you to eat according to what your health goals are, and give you not advice per se, but certainly give you a structure such that you can eat well every single day, and you can cook Doctor's Kitchen meals every day without really having to think about it too much. So really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Been a humbling experience, and stay well, stay safe, stay at home, and enjoy this pistachio pasta. Beautiful. Bye guys, bye to France, bye to South Africa, bye to the UK. Love it.